Hello everyone and welcome to my morning report analysis videos with me, Rich Market Analyst at Hantec Markets on Friday 27th of July. We've got a pretty sort of nondescript open really. Market's fairly quiet. Dollar's just gained a little bit on yesterday's moves. ECB didn't really do the euro many favours. Sort of ECB euro was sold off on the back of the ECB, not for no real reason other than the fact that the ECB was very muted and gave a very dull press conference and no real changes to monetary policy. So subsequently, the euro fell on the back of that. Yields lower on the German Bund, and subsequently we saw the dollar rallying as US yields have held up. So that has helped to drive a bit of dollar outperformance in the last sort of 18 hours or so, and subsequently it's just holding a little bit fire today. You've got GDP for the States this afternoon. That's going to be a key driver, but in front of that we've got a very slight amount of dollar strength, but yen is still well, I say still outperforming. You had a rally on dollar yen yesterday, back above 11 big figure, but it's just giving back some of that today. Bank of Japan has sort of come back in again as yields have risen. 10-year yield risen to 0.1%. So that's sort of induced a bit of a reaction from the Bank of Japan, but certainly the yen is still pretty much positive. Equity markets holding firm. Strong move to the upside yesterday. Really strong breakout on the DAX, and that's holding those gains today. Gold is sort of fluctuating a bit higher and lower. Nothing too decisive in terms of direction there. Similar on oil as well. Very slightly sort of giving back on oil. But yeah, it's sort of market, I think, waiting for this US GDP data this afternoon. Now, what is the GDP data expected to do? Well, it's expected to come in pretty strongly, 4.1% on the advanced GDP, the first reading of US growth for the Q2 period, and that is well, I mean, Donald Trump would be very happy with that if it had a 4 handle, considering the final reading of growth last quarter in Q1 was 2.1, was it 2%, 2.1%. So yeah, it would be a significant uptick from that. The question would be then, how does the market respond to that? Is this going to be a one-off? Is this going to be a sort of a continuing situation? Obviously, we've got trade tariffs disputes going on. The corporates are beginning to come out with suggestions that trade tariffs are going to hit their performance going forward. So subsequently, is this as good as it gets on growth? That would be the question. But anyway, so what else have we got? We've got the Michigan sentiment final reading, 97.1, which is in line with where we had the first reading. So my chart today is Euro Canadian. Now I did dollar Canadian as the Canadian dollar was beginning to strengthen, and that against the backdrop of a weakening euro has meant that the Euro Canadian has also technically broken down. Initial support at 52.85 has broken. Breakdown actually now sort of arguably completes a little bit of a top pattern you could say, but I think a retreat back towards 51.20, that reaction low from mid-June, certainly seems to be on the cards, and not a million miles off that now. But look at the momentum indicators confirming the move. The RSI below 40 MACD lines now beginning to gain traction in their corrective move, as are the stochastics. This one has downside potential, I think, across the momentum indicators, and the move seems to be continuing. Certainly today, again, another candle lower is being built, and the market doesn't really show too many signs of stopping. And you've got the hourly chart, which shows the RSI failing in the 40s now on the hourly, having previously around the 50s level. Now in the last couple of days, 40s is the failure point. So it certainly seems to be a sort of an accelerating move lower. And overhead supply is now in place around that sort of 52.85 is the breakdown level, but 53 figure to 53.20. Also sort of coming in as resistance area. So yeah, there is a sense that any sort of unwinding move is a chance to sell now on Euro Canadian. So wish you good luck in your trading today, and I'll speak to you later.